did not expect it to be such a turnout, but you guys are awesome for this. Today we are having a feminism discussion, not debate. Let's get that straight. I got a few rules for us to go by for this to be a successful discussion. First, everyone needs to remain respectful, so that includes my audience, my members on panel that are going to be part of the discussion. So if someone's talking, don't talk, you know, just simple stuff. Like, I think we're good on that, right? Cool. Okay. No interruption, so we're not going to interrupt. When I give someone the floor to speak, let them speak. No foul language. Yeah, that's just common sense, because this is going on the school website, so represent yourself right. Be nice to each other. I know there's a lot of people with different viewpoints, opposing views. So let's just remain nice to each other, and let's learn something today. I put this all together today so we could all learn something. Can I get everyone's attention? See, we gotta, after we move segments, you guys gotta work with me here. Okay. So we're gonna start off with a commercial that was shown during the Super Bowl.
I'm Jonah Shkova, and I completely support feminism and equality and all the good stuff.
Right? I'm Emma Cooper. I 100% support the feminist movement and everything it stands for, and if you believe that all genders are equal, you are a feminist regardless of whether or not you like the term. It's just the definition of it.
Cool. Next down the line.
I'm Madison Bethel Brown. I support feminism. I am a feminist, and I believe everything that these two just said.
Keep it going.
I'm Lily Priest, and I of course believe in feminism. And I just want everyone to know that feminism isn't about man bashing or man hating, and that it's equal rights. And the definition of feminist is equal rights for both men and women.
Awesome.
I'm Winona Cleary, and I am pro-feminism, and you know, they already said all the same stuff.
I'm Devin Gray. I'm for feminism because I'm for equality. I don't like how feminism has been handled on Twitter and things, and I feel like it's been really handled immaturely, kind of ignorantly on Southport's side. That's what I believe.
Right, last but not least.
No.
Nick Aguilar, y'all knew that. I'm not technically arguing against feminism. I'm just trying to say that it's dumb in America and it's just pointless to even have here.
Guys, give a little round of applause. Let's go ahead, just watch the commercial, remain silent.
Show me what it looks like to fight like a girl. Now throw like a girl. Aww.
My name is Dakota, and I'm 10 years old.
Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Throw like a girl. Fight like a girl. What does it mean to you when I say run like a girl?
It means run fast as you can.
Because the term like a girl has always had a negative connotation. Who knows? I don't know why, it just does, and that's something that it's been like in society, and that's trying to break that rule.
Okay, anyone else?
Oh, okay. I definitely think that something that how did feminism came to mind, like a girl, you know, throw like a girl. Oh, you throw wimpy, you throw less. It's trying to get the word out there that, you know, you're not the stereotype of a girl. You are better than that. And you're better than, you know, what people perceive you as because you are a girl. And then I noticed when that came out, everybody started doing hashtag like a boy on Twitter. And I feel like some men, not all men, but some men took it as, oh, well, women are just trying to overpower us and be better than us. But we're already less than them right now, and that's trying to get us up there to become equal with them.
When you say less than them, less as in the way we're treated when we go to apply for jobs, socially, what do you mean by less?
Less as in all of that. Women get paid less than men. Women get treated like they are less than men just because of being a girl. That's what it is.
Okay, I'm gonna have you hold that thought. We're gonna go down here.
I think like we're getting, and this commercial is obviously focused on women since it's tampons. I don't use tampons, Nick doesn't use tampons. But I think what we need to get to is that feminism is equality. This commercial does focus on women, but when men like Brandon Baker made the thing, yes, all men tweet. I my whole life is like, you're supposed to look like this. You're supposed to play football, Devin. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. Do that. Why do I have to act like a guy? Why can't I be Devin?
So kind of like the Taco Bell commercial where they're like, shave like this and go do the. Y'all have seen that, right? Okay, right, okay.
We gotta focus on feminism, like this is, and on social media with the Southport people, with mostly women. So we gotta focus as feminism, which is men and women together.
So you think there's stereotypes out there that men have to overcome, like you have to play sports, or you have to do this, or you have to grow a beard?
There's stereotypes of any gender with both genders.
Okay. I like that. Let's come down here.
Going off of what Devin said, which I agree with, the feminism does support men's rights, because the things that men are chastised for, such as like not playing sports, not being strong, doing stereotypically feminine stuff. That's how men can be oppressed, and feminism supports that.
Okay, I'll go right here. Winnie's had her hand up.
Alright, I just wanted to say, like, this is really powerful to me because as women, and like any minority at all, we can all agree that we just hate being lumped in a category. Like, we're all individual people, but we're all lumped into little groups that make us feel like lesser.
Audience, do we have any questions for any of my panel members up here? No questions, no comments? Okay, right here.
I just have a question personally for Nick. What do you find wrong with feminism?
Well, it's really back to America, and everybody is equal. We aren't about as equal as we are going to be. We literally are as equal as we're going to get, because nothing's going to change, because obviously the feminists aren't doing something right. And then, for it to change, one gender has to go a total opposite direction, which is not going to happen for it to change. Because not everybody will listen, because everybody's
Hey, let's give Nick a speaking floor.
Respect me for what the opinions are.
And since nothing's going to change about it.
So you feel like women in America is just equal as it's going to get. We should just be happy.
Yes, nothing's going to change.
Why is it not going to change?
If something would have changed, it already happened.
Okay,
what do you think this
is? And they're out of women in the Fortune 500 CEO position. So that's your top of your top executive businesses, the Fortune, we all know what that is, right? I don't have to explain. Only 4.2% of women are CEOs out of the 500. Out of the 1,000 Fortune 1,000 companies, only 4.1% are women that are in the CEOs. That's not as fair as it gets, Nick.
Okay, but you don't understand. Obviously, people in those CEOs have connections. They're CEOs.
Okay.
They're going to have connections.
Right, you're going to need some type of connection to get up
maybe
there.
the women don't have connections, and also it doesn't come down to if you're a woman or a man. It comes down to who the owner of the company wants to be the CEO.
So you feel like you have to have a connection. Shouldn't it be based on the person who is best fit for that job?
Yes, that's not how I do it.
But that's not equality, though.
Literally business. Business is you're all equal, but business comes down to who you know.
Does anyone have any thoughts in the audience about that? We'll go to Nathan. Nathan's been eager.
All right. So there's this floating statistic about like males being CEOs more than females, and males making more money. First question is, does anybody know that statistic off the top of their head on the panel? Anybody know
I
that?
have a,
What's the statistic?
can I pull it up real quick? On my phone, is that allowed?
Okay, go ahead. Go to the second point while she's pulling that up. Okay.
I can tell you. I looked it up earlier. Women make, on the dollar, 78 cents per every dollar a man makes. If you're African American, it's 62. If you're Latino, it's 53. And that comes from the U.S. Department of Labor. It's a government statistic, so it's not just like floating, it's factual.
Gotcha. So when it comes down to that, if you think about it, CEOs are usually, I mean, you don't have a lot of super young CEOs. A lot of people have been CEOs for a while, runs in the family. Yeah, maybe some of those CEOs are promoted, but every job I've ever worked in my life, my boss has been a woman, and their boss has been a woman, and then their boss has been a woman, and then, yeah, maybe a guy is the CEO of a company. But all those positions lower are still filled by women, and then everybody working their own ways, lower jobs. It's just usually a bunch of guys.
So what kind of jobs have you worked, Nate?
I worked at the YMCA, I taught swim lessons.
Okay.
I bus tables. I worked at PacSun, and I work at the Children's Museum right now. And my boss, or my supervisor is a female, her supervisor is a female, and then her supervisor is a female, and then the CEO is a male. But everybody else underneath that, they're all females. The only other male in a high rated position is human resources, and that's it.
Cool, that's awesome. I'm gonna drop a fact on that right now. So, unlike a lot of us think, the jobs, like the Y job, our restaurant, it's, you know, the jobs that really, those boss jobs really don't require a 4-year degree, not technically all the time. Those jobs, women and men, they're pretty fair. Pretty fair. I've done the research, make about the same. It's when we go up to the jobs, the CEOs of the companies, executives, presidents of record companies, women are very scarce compared to male CEOs, and it's not the lower jobs that women are fighting for equality, it's the ones that are going to get you in positions to make moves, to make power moves. That's where women are scarce. Let's go to Cameron.
All right.
Speak to me.
I got a question for you. All right.
Who's the question for? Me?
Nick.
Nick. Okay,
right.
Back to Nick.
So, you said earlier you don't believe that feminism can excel, it can't go any further because we're already equal. So,
what are you talking about here in America? Here in America.
So you're okay with women abusing men in public? You think that's fair?
First, I've never seen a man get abused in public.
Alright, they've done a social experiment on this. A man can be abused in public, and a woman, and people will laugh as he's getting abused. And you're okay with that?
Yeah, well, I mean, in all fairness though, if she abuses him, I mean, since guys are for equality, the man should be able to like abuse her back.
Oh let's go right here.
Both acts are against the law. You believe that people should just go at each other?
Wait, let him finish. Go ahead, finish, Cameron.
You believe both people should just go at each other?
Yes, if you want equality.
That is against the law.
Okay. Let's move back on.
Okay, so like the thing about I've like heard it, like a lot of people say stuff like this, like, well, it's pretty much almost equal, or like in America there's a lot of these rights, but like what about people who aren't white Americans? Like there's a lot of other people that, like women and men that aren't white Americans that have it a lot worse.
So overseas, we all know that women in some places have no rights at all. I'll take this question for anyone, audience, panel. How important is it for us here in America to fight for women's rights? Because women over there can't fight for their own rights because they'll get stoned, they'll get beaten by their husbands, they'll get shot in the head. So how important is it for here to keep fighting for the feminist movement for those women over here? We'll go down to Nick since I haven't really heard from Nick.
Okay. Us getting rights in this country would have nothing to do with any other country getting rights. They're going to have to do it themselves because we can't just, okay, so we get the right, like, okay, say we don't have the right to vote. We got the right to vote does not mean that the other country would just get it because we got it. They're going to have to do the same thing that people did in this country to get that same right.
So you feel like America has no influence on any other country.
I know, but okay, we have influence on other countries, but when it comes to like dating stuff, we can't help you with that. They have to do that on their own. Like, you ever seen the other countries helping us achieve like anything, like rights, anything like that?
Okay, we'll go right here.
Most of our economy and all of our money and everything comes from foreign countries. They have influence on us, we have influence on them. The whole reason we went to war in Afghanistan was to help the government, was to help them. Why can't feminists do the same thing? Go over there to help rights for the people.
Because money, like trade items and stuff, is totally different from rights. Rights is something you gotta earn. Trade, this whole world relies on the country's trade. But when it comes to rights, that's this country by itself. Every country's in it by themselves.
Okay, I have been dying to say this whole entire time, and I'd like to jump back to what, you know, I guess I could say this
is this for everyone, or is it?
I guess it's just out loud, but I guess Nick is right in the point that feminism isn't as important in America as it is in other countries. I mean, like, I'm getting to sit up here and defend what I believe in front of boys and girls when girls in Africa can't do that. Girls in Africa aren't going to school. I have the opportunity to go to school. Only I have the sub-Saharan African girl from a low-income rural household gets less than 2 years of schooling and never learns to read and write, to add and subtract, as opposed to the average sub-Saharan African boy who completes primary education. They're like, yeah, I'm getting to go to school, but how about in other countries and overseas and girls that will never get to go to a college or even get to see the second grade?
We're having this debate over a commercial. But girls in Saudi Arabia,
Discussion.
But girls in Saudi Arabia can't even swim. They can't even go outside without having a man with them. So before we start an uprising about this, we're talking about like a leaky faucet when there's a hurricane happening in other countries.
So you think we need to be more grateful for what we have here and then try to help?
We need to fix our little problems. Like, feminism in America is an important concept.
So we need to make that more.
But there's more dire concepts in other countries with life matters.
Okay, so Nick, what you said earlier about we have to earn our rights, that's not what rights are. I mean, it's defined, it's either in the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence. I don't know, I'm bad at U.S. history. But we all have unalienable rights. Nobody can take that away from us, regardless of who they are. We are given those rights because we are human. We have the right to money, property, whatever it is. I don't understand really. So how can you say that somebody has to earn their rights? That's not that's a paradox. It's a contradictory statement.
Well, okay, when slavery was around, we didn't just get that like back to normal. We did not just get to be free. You have to fight for it. Okay, like women. Okay, women's right to vote, suffrage. Okay. They had to fight for that, and we were given the right to vote. Men were always given the right to vote. And you said you're given to us?
Well, white males were always given the right to vote.
White males were given the right to vote. You know what those other races had to do, and genders? They had to fight for it. Was not given to them.
So how did they fight for it? Did they like go in the streets and like?
They started messing stuff up. Like, I mean,
what did they do? Riots, protests.
Okay. All right. This relates back to the need to fight for your rights in any movement. Civil rights, feminism, slavery. If the rights weren't taken away in the first place, they would not have to be fought for.
Amen.
Amen.
So while we're here, America, a big influencer, and we have the ability to say something about it, over there, they do not. And by over there, I mean anywhere of the Orient, of Africa. Like, women are seen as such an economic burden in India that female feticide is a commonly practiced event because you have to pay for a woman to get married, but you don't for a man. So about almost all abortions are selectively for females.
Okay, so pretend that feminism and feminists just disappeared completely. We just shipped all the women who ever fought for women's rights out of history. But honestly never have moved on past the industrial era because women in college and in the workforce as competent workers were benefiting society more than just, you know, going to get lunch with your guy friends. But
in fact, you could look at it from a fast food perspective, where the whole reason fast food was created was because nobody has time to sit around and cook anymore because we're all too busy going out there and, you know, doing our thing. So, when you look at it with fast food being one of the major industries in America, providing hundreds and hundreds of jobs, what does that tell you?
So let's start. Have you learned anything from this discussion? Do you respect or see where someone else comes from this? Do you kind of be like, you know what, even though I don't rock with what she's saying, I see where she's coming from.
I agree with everything they said back there, Nathan and Brad.
But no, I'm talking about a different viewpoint. Hey. I'm talking about a different viewpoint. Did you hear someone's viewpoint that was different than yours and be like, okay, I see what they're saying, I don't agree with it? No?
I don't agree.
And your final thoughts in like a sentence. And not a run-on sentence.
I still don't think this solved anything because there were so many points brought up. And mainly, I mean, more than half the time it was about other countries, which, who cares, we're in America.
I think Nathan brought up a really good point at the end. I really connected with that. But I also think that just because you have a Twitter account and just because you can comment on what Nick says or what somebody says or what a commercial says doesn't make you a feminist. What makes you a feminist is going out there and making a change.
So do you think like the feminist groups, the groups that the women who come together that go out and help young girls, you think they're making a change?
It's men or women.
Women.
It's making a change.
Okay. And your final thoughts in one sentence, or was that it? That was a good note to end on.
I think this went pretty good, but
your final thoughts on feminism or whatever. It's your last sentence. You can tell us about how your day's going. It's your last sentence.
No, I just still think that there's some people in this room that are just too stubborn to think
they're not being open-minded.
They aren't being open-minded enough to see that it's really a problem. And it may not be the biggest problem, but it's still something that's on the list.
Okay. Did you learn anything from the
I learned a ton.
Awesome. Your final.
I don't know. I just wish I saw more people wanting to sit at this table and defend what they had to believe, whether or not that's against feminism or for feminism or, you know, I don't know. After seeing that video, I just wanted to go, why are there not more girls or boys wanting to sit here and defend their mothers or sisters or themselves? Like, I just don't understand.
So you wish there was a little more participation?
I just wish there was a little bit more participation. And everyone had, like, great questions, and I wish that you were sitting up here with us defending yourself, your own right, your own freedom, and your mom's freedom, or your sister's, or your girlfriend, or your wife.
Did you learn anything from this?
I did. And
You did. That's good.
I think people brought up a good point, like what Billy had to say about, you know, like women do need to get out there more.
Yeah.
And put themselves out there to, you know, get that top CEO position and make it bigger than 4.2. I think that's important. I think that's something that all women in here
I think us women need to all encourage each other.
Encourage each other. And don't...
That's a start, maybe.
Don't women hate. If I were to dress like a slut... Sorry, can I say that?
I already did, so...
If I were to dress like that, I wouldn't want somebody to, like, bash me for dressing like that. That's how I want to dress.
Okay.
And I, for sure, do not want to, like... hate somebody for the way they dress. That's how they want to do it. And I think that, you know, I got told this a while back. The first thing that comes to your mind when you think something is how you were raised. That second thing that comes to mind is how you want to be and who you want to be.
I like that.
I'm going to be honest. Sometimes I do say, oh, she's wearing a crop top. I don't think she should do that. But then I'm like, it's her own life. She can do whatever she wants to do with it. I think that's really important. And I think that women and men need to stop bashing each other for everything.
In the advocacy for both women's and men's rights, but talking about men's rights, if you really are truly worried about men being treated as I don't know what the word for insubordinates, I don't know. Inferior, there we go. Then go out and advocate for trans men's rights, gay men's rights, black men's rights, all men's rights, not just straight white males.
That was a good point to end on.
Like, for real.
Did you learn anything today?
I learned a lot today.
Okay.
I think it's really, really great that this happened, and I honestly did take away something positive from something that every single person in here that spoke said, whether I agreed with it or not. And I think that's what today was about, that you got to come out here and everybody got to, you know, speak their mind and give their own voice on what they think like should be the norm. And I just want to thank everybody for coming, and it really means a lot to me, and I'm sure everybody on the panel and other people in the audience, that everybody came and spoke their mind.
I just want to thank everyone for coming out. I know not just me, but a lot of other people, this means a lot. I want to thank Mr. Brown for sitting in on this, Sierra filming, Lindsay filming, all my features section, just everyone who came out and was a part of this. I don't think anything was resolved, but I think this was healthy. I think we needed this. I think this brings us closer together. And I think more stuff like this should happen. I just want to thank everyone. Vanessa, she's the editor-in-chief, so I have to let her speak.
Alright, so for those of you who came just to see Nick Gagliola, I hope you learned something, because that's the whole purpose of it, and not seeing someone make a point or raise their hands like it was all about them, because it wasn't. It's about a movement much bigger than us. Secondly, if enough people want to stay and ask direct questions, and if the panel is willing to stay, we'll have a longer Q&A session that can be filmed. This video will be put on the Drone Rewired website. It'll be advertised on when it's going up, and you can see your questions and their thoughts, and then a further Q&A. Lastly, this goes for social media, any kind of movement, any time of your life. The freedom of speech is not the freedom to say something stupid and have it be justified. It's the freedom to get your thoughts and ideas out there and accept others, not make idiotic comments and have it be okay because you have that freedom. That's not why you have it.
Amen. Good to go.